0 to 008. Opening T's golden hour drone sweep. Long, slow arc revealing two very different silhouettes on an empty coastal overpass. One impossibly low and aggressive, the other long, composed, and dignified in deep blue. Swelling orchestral hit, quick whoosh SFX as camera snaps between profile lines. Vo confident, cinematic, two interpretations of presence. One is pure performance poetry, razor edges and arrow intent. The other is composed authority, scale, silhouette and a lineage that still matters. This is the 2025 Toyota GT Super versus the 2025 Ford Crown Victoria, exterior design and the colors that define them. 009 to 040. Hero intro, wide shots, slow 50mm slider push in on GT Super, simultaneous wide dolly on Crown Vic. Use subtle rack focus between foreground paint and distant logo. Vo. On paper they couldn't be more different. The GT Super speaks in negative space, vents, and surfacing that slices light. The Crown Victoria talks in proportion, presence and the kind of silhouette that reads across a city block. But both rely on paint and light to tell their story. 041 to 130. GT Super exterior. Main design elements, sequence. Low frontal push, side profile drone, 10-12 meters, 3/4 rear reveal. Macro headlight lens pass, grille texture close-up. Vo. Start with the GT Super. A low nose, an extended carbon splitter, and a multi-element front valance that roots air like a race car. The headlight signature is a narrow, katana, LED blade. A thin, precise daytime running light that chisels the face. The hood features subtle twin power bulges that lead into aggressive fender arches, wide enough to read as intent even at distance. Look closer and you'll find flush door handles, sharply creased rocker panels, and an active rear wing integrated into the C-pillar. The rear diffuser is sculpted, layered and functional. Layered fins, center exit outlets, and a visible undertray, all modern GT language. 131 to 210. GT Super materials and details, macro B-roll. Carbon weave, wheel spoke finish, brake caliper stamped logo, tire sidewall. Vo. Materials are obvious. Exposed carbon for aero pieces, satin finished center panels for contrast, and a mix of forged wheel finishes that accentuate the car's shoulder line. Wheels are large, deep dish performance clusters, 20 inches to 21 inches with an open 5-spoke geometry to show off the calipers and carbon ceramic discs beneath. 211 to 3 o'clock. GT Super color palette, on-screen swatches, split screen. Left swatch board, right car rotated on turntable. On-screen callouts. Color name plus finish type, pearl, metallic, matte. Vo. The GT Super's paint story leans athletic. Key palettes. Stratosphere blue metallic. Deep, flake rich, shifts purple at low angles. Ideal for golden hour drone arcs. Race red pearl. High chroma, aggressive and heritage charged. Absolute zero metallic. Near white pearl with micro flake for camera shimmer. Matte graphite satin. Track forward, mutes reflections so sculpting reads raw. Each finish changes how the surfaces read. Pearls lift the character lines, mattes emphasize volume, and metallics show off micro flute creases. 301 to 340. GT Super lighting, night presence, night shot. DRL animation sequence, dynamic turn signals, rear signature sweep. Vo. Lighting is a signature. The Katana DRL animates on wake, turn signals sweep like a blade, and the full-width rear LED creates a flying buttress silhouette at night, a visual anchor for social thumbnails and nighttime B-roll. 341 to 410. Cutaway. Crown Victoria exterior. Main design elements, slow carriage lateral pass, 35mm, evening light. Emphasize length and glass area. Vo. Now the Crown Victoria. Think of it as a modern formalwear reinterpretation. Long hood, linear beltline, and a roofline that reads stately from the pillar. Its grille is broad and dignified, using horizontal slats with a subtle chrome surround, a nod to its heritage. The wheel arches are squared but softened with flowing flanks. Rocker panels are broad to add visual mass. Rear quarters fall away with a graceful, almost coupe-like sweep, but with four-door practicality intact. 411 to 450. Crown Victoria surfacing and details macro. Chrome trim, mirror housings, door edge gap, LED tail cluster texture. Vo. Details are less about attack and more about refinement. Satin chrome coach lines, a soft touch roof finish that emphasizes a formal top, and refined mirror housings that integrate blind spot lighting. The tail's LED elements are broad and rectangular, modernized but conservative, creating a strong horizontal anchor at the rear. 451 to 530. Crown Victoria color palette, on-screen swatches, same split-screen color board approach as GT Super. VO. For the blue Crown Vic, the palette centers on depth and dignity. Federal blue pearl, a classic deep blue with subtle pearl for sunlight shimmer. Midnight navy metallic, almost black at first glance, comes alive in direct light. Crown royal blue metallic, a jewel tone with vintage appeal. Polished steel blue satin, modern, slightly desaturated for a more executive look. These blues change the car's personality. Lighter pearls make it more approachable. Darker navies emphasize presence and authority. 531 to 610. Wheels, tires and road presence, both cars, cut between GT Super staggered setup and Crown Vic 19 inches multi-spoke. Tire profile close-ups. VO. Wheels do a lot of the talking. The GT Super's staggered, deep offset wheels read aggressive and lower the car visually. High gloss accents pick out fender creases. The Crown Vic uses larger diameter, more conservative multi-spoke wheels, polished faces that reflect the coachline and lift the perceived mass. Tire sidewalls and tread pattern selection also influence on-camera motion blur. Low-profile tires for the GT Super create razor-sharp sidewall blur during tracking shots, whereas the Crown Vic's wall height and tire tread give a smoother, more stately rolling look. 611 to 650. Interaction with light and camera tips, B-roll notes, montage. Macro paint flakes under sun, pearl shimmer, dusk silhouette. VO. Practical filming note. Pearls and metallics need grazing light to flash. Mattes need soft, even light to keep texture consistent. For the GT Super, shoot low and tight to emphasize the front splitter and flares. Use polarizers sparingly so you keep reflections on the carbon. For the Crown Vic, medium height dollies and 3/4 daylight shots emphasize length and door geometry. 651 to 730. Composed shots and storybow RD suggestions, storyboard overlay. 000 to 008 Ts, 009 to 040 hero, 301 to 340 night signature, closing hero shots. VO. Storyboard idea. Open with silhouette, cut to material macros, then reveal paint boards with turntable spins. Use split-screen overlays to compare profile lines, GT Super's aggressive shoulder versus Crown Vic's long, horizontal sweep. End with a slow drone pull-up that lets the two different design philosophies sit side by side. 7:31 to 8 o'clock. Closing call to action, golden hour final pass, camera settles between both cars, small lens flare, shallow depth. VO, warm, different languages, same goal, presence. One car shouts its intent on the track, the other commands the road with scale and composure. Color and surface finish are what let those languages sing on camera. Which one would you frame on your hero shot? Tell us in the comments, and if you want a color grade LUT based on Stratosphere Blue or Federal Blue, hit like and subscribe. We'll bake it into the next upload. End card. 801 to 810, logo sting. Suggested next videos. Paint and finish breakdown. Pearls versus matte. And GT Super detail. Wheels and arrow. Social handles appear.